Hey, what's going on guys, it's Stickman here, and Sonic Generations, one of the most iconic Sonic games of all time, highly praised, highly rated, and highly respected over the years, is now heavily rumored to be getting revealed at a Sony PlayStation State of Play at the end of the month, and I'm cautiously optimistic. So there's a tweet by King Gronk Nick going around right now that has absolutely set the Sonic corners of the internet on fire. It says, on the 31st, roughly, Ronins will rise, will die stranded, have a rebirth, and Kojima will fulfill his dream. Sonic will live in the shadow of his generation, while the hills will remain silent until the dawn when you'll need to catch the metro. Just don't be a Judas about it. And yeah, it does sound kind of weird when you read it at first glance, but then you start to realize that everything he's saying here is intentionally written out in a cryptic manner, so that when you really decipher what he's saying, you'll figure out that he's actually referring to all the new games that will be revealed on the 31st of January. And keep in mind, it was tweeted out at 3:17 p.m. on January 28, 2024, and as of today at 12 p.m. on January 29, 2024, lo and behold, we got ourselves news from the official PlayStation Twitter account that, hey, we will be getting a new State of Play, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, it's going to be 40 minutes long, have 15 plus games, and one of the games mentioned, Rise of the Ronin, did show up in the tweet from King Gronk Nick himself, so this guy's very credible. But if you don't believe me and you want more proof that he's credible, Sonic Stadium even mentioned in an article that he has done this before. It says, last September he posted cryptic hints of an upcoming State of Play, and one was 100% accurate. As he mentions in the Twitter exchange posted above, he seems to get lists on some of the featured games ahead of time. This is what he posted last year. And you can see with this tweet right here, he pretty much confirmed that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth would be coming and Roblox would be coming to PlayStation, and both did happen. So although it is a rumor, I'm personally leaning towards the fact that this is a highly credible post and highly probable if you think about it. And because one of the statements is most likely alluding to Sonic Generations coming back, it's very likely that we either see a remaster or a remake announced this January 31st, and that is absolutely insane to think about because that's literally just 2 days away. So that's it for the news section of the video. Now we are going to wrap the video up with my thoughts on a Sonic Generations remaster, whether we get it sometime this year or if not, later in the future. Look, Sonic Generations is by far one of the greatest Sonic games of all time and one of the most consistently great Sonic games throughout its entire runtime. I'm talking both 2D and 3D, not just 3D by the way. This is one of the best Sonic games of all time. At the time of its release in 2011, this game was the first true love letter to longtime hardcore Sonic fans that wasn't a compilation game like Sonic Jam or like Sonic Mega Collection for example, but even like way before games like Sonic Mania would show tons of love and respect for the history of the franchise, this game was the first and arguably still best to do it. And it's why if you think about it, this is like the perfect anniversary game. This game united Sonic fans from every major era of Sonic games, including the classics, the adventure games, and even the Boost era games by giving us two interpretations of both new and old iconic levels. It was always a shining example of how great Sonic games can be, and it was a huge reason why I kept believing in the franchise during the post-Generations to pre-Sonic Movie 1 era personally, even when we weren't getting much Sonic content and the games were mostly budget titles, and Sonic started losing what made him so cool to me in the first place. No matter how many times they rehash Green Hill Zone, Chemical Plant, and Sky Sanctuary, that will never take away from their greatness in Sonic Generations. And even when we didn't have a whole lot of Sonic content to look forward to, I always knew that the extremely talented modding community working on this game for over a decade now always had something crazy cooking up that would keep me invested in the franchise for years and years to come. This game holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts, so we can only hope that if this game has already been developed and is getting ready to be revealed or is still in development, that they absolutely deliver nothing but quality. Like, I really cannot stress that enough. I personally would have loved to see other more obscure games get the remaster or port treatment first, like, you know, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Heroes, but I understand why Sonic Generations would be a higher priority because, well, it's got near unanimous positive reception, it's a really short game, and it's slightly newer than those older titles, making it probably a lot easier to bring back to the modern day. I'm glad that the game is going to be even more accessible than it already is because we do have to consider that at this point now, it did come out 2 console generations ago, and it isn't playable on PlayStation or Nintendo consoles at all. But man, there is so much riding on the success of this game, and I really hope that whatever it ends up being, whether it's a remaster, a port, or a remake, that they do all they can to bring all the textures and other visuals up to higher standards without sacrificing the physics, the art style, the presentation, and the aesthetic of the original game. And I especially hope all they do with the soundtrack is improve the audio quality while still having it play out of both ears, please? Looking at you, Sonic Colors Ultimate. But by far, the most important thing about this game is they don't rush this game out and that they take their time. Seriously, this is Sonic Generations. Its reputation speaks for itself. One of my personal top 5s, so please don't fuck this up. And finally, I know that before Sonic Origins dropped, all of the classic Sonic games got delisted from every console storefront, so I really hope that they don't delist Sonic Generations from all storefronts because that would just be devastating. But now it's time to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on a Sonic Generations Ultimate, if you will? Ugh, I don't like saying that. Are you hyped? Worried? Upset? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video, and a huge shout out to Sonic Heroes 54 and Azora for supporting the channel directly. If you'd like to become a channel member, be sure to hit that join button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.